Great. Hello, and welcome to everybody joining us today for the session of guest of honor speaker. Before we start to the main session, I would like to give words to Ghalamjan to tell us a little bit more about the Kazakh European Science Association, and then we will proceed with the main speaker.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen? I want to share. Yeah, let me share it. So, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. So, first of all, before starting, one of the reasons why we choose English language, although most of us is Kazakhs, but our vision is in the future establish Central Asian Science Association. So it will be beneficial to us to choose one language. So it will be more easy more easy to use and communicate. So we just stick in on English language. So please understand if some of you have some questions why we today speak in English. So this is a kind of rule of our association. So let me briefly introduce our association, Kazakh European Science Association, united across the European Union. We are a melting pot of academia and industry expertise. So shortly about us, this is our team. My name is Ramjan Isabekov, now currently in Germany. I'm a founder of this association. We have other two members. Second, Alia Yespolatova. She's also a PhD candidate from Japan, currently in Japan. Unfortunately, today she cannot join because of time zone differences. Also, Sirik Mirmanov. He actually our project consultant. We're working together on this project, and he also was eager to join today's meeting, but unfortunately because of time zone it was very late. He cannot do that, but he sent warm regards to everyone, especially to Kuanysh Mirza. Yeah, and so shortly about myself, I studied in several countries, starting from Peking University, did my medical degree, and after that also did my neurosurgical residency program also in Beijing, and after that did my research fellowship in the University of Florida for 1 year, and following up went to Japan for doing another 1 year research fellowship, and now currently doing my doctoral studies in Germany, Charity Hospital. So during these years, I have honored to establish this kind of small communities of Kazakh scientists, because I think everyone need to find his own community and all these countries in China, US, Japan, we established Kazakh PhD association. But now if you're looking from last year, we thought about this idea to establish something bigger. And now what you can see, we already have connections with established Kazakh researchers globally. So here's a list of scientists that we constantly contacting with them, and they already working in established institutions around the world, not only in Europe but also in Japan, in United States. So it's great that we have this kind of progress in a short time. Other than that, I want to say that our journey actually was long, starting from 2014 to 2024, almost 10 years. So at the beginning, we started with small seminars. It's a 1 hour seminar, and one PhD students or postdoc students just introduce their work, what about their work, what kind of questions they're trying to answer, what's their lab. And we found that this was very helpful, especially for beginners in this career of being scientists. So we have Mansour from Cornell, we have Amina from Tokyo University, we have Chingiz from New Zealand, we have Alibek from Tsinghua University. So a lot of candidates. Other than that, we also did 2 sessions of invited guest speakers. One of them was Sirik Mirmanov, and second Arkhad Abjanov one from Japan, second from UK. They also shared some topics on navigating academical career in Japan, US, and UK comparison. So over 10 years, we have 20 online and offline meetings featuring Kazakh researchers abroad in China, Japan, US, and UK, including Hong Kong and New Zealand. So last year, we established this community in Japan, Kazakhstan PhD Association in Japan, and we featured. We at that time we had three kinds of meetings. First one is a monthly academical series where one is a PhD or postdoc researcher called share about their research, what they're doing, why it's important, and share another useful skills. Other than that, we also invited people from industry. There's Ayjan. She's a data scientist, also working in a Japanese startup company, and she also shared. And other than that, we think that inviting these established scientists is also great opportunity to know about these people and trying to have kind of network with them. And one of them was Sergey Mirmanov. So shortly about us, Kazakh European Science Association, we're trying to bring scientists, educators, graduate students, and other scientific and technical professionals from university and industry. So you see from our presentation, we don't only have people from science, but also from industry. And we're trying to be melting point of academia industry and help our community expanding scholarly pursuits and professional networks and we're trying to organize all these events in this with this aim. And our mission is to maintain, develop common intellectual and cultural space of Kazakhstan scientific community across Europe, but not only in Europe. Now we're also expanding to United States, Japan, Australia, and was one of the main important to provide expertise to professional community and public on scientific and educational discoveries and innovation. Does it mean like we're trying to collaborate with Kazakhstani scientific associations and try to be helpful for people that are doing science in Kazakhstan, especially young generation. And our strategy is to exchange knowledge, international practice in science education, initiate and coordinate collaborative projects in science and education. What I mentioned before, we already have connections in Kazakhstan with some scientific projects and also trying to be helpful because I think it's amazing having this opportunity, working abroad and trying to somehow contribute to your country. So from this year, we have several meetings. One was monthly seminar series. There was Yerbolat Davletyarov from Netherlands doing postdoc. Second one, we have two panel discussion sessions. One was on education. Second one was about international postdoctoral speak, trying to share different perspectives from Japan, Hong Kong, Beijing, and New Zealand. And yeah, and other than that, we also had industrial talk. We invited Anara Nusaitova. She's working in Roche, very famous pharmaceutical big pharma company, and she working as a clinical test developer. And she also shared the insights how you can get this kind of job after PhD, after postdoc, what kind of opportunities they have here in Germany. She currently lives in Bavaria and working here in Germany. Yeah, so we're trying to organize this kind of panel discussions, try to select 4 speakers, and within the 1 hour time, maximum 1 hour and 30 minutes, give maximum information, helpful information for our listeners. And yeah, also want to mention that we have worldwide map of Kazakh researchers on our website. So you can, there's interactive map where you can pinpoint location of Kazakh researchers across the globe. So here we mainly put PhD and postdocs and established scientists. So you can just click. Let's say here you can see on the left down side here, you just clicking on location and you can find who of Kazakh researchers currently living, let's say in Berlin. Yeah, and here we have 3 PhD candidates in different fields. Also contact information. You can easily reach them if you going travel to conference or something else. We thought it's very useful tool to bring this scientists together. Yeah, and other than that, on our website, we have this another, let's say, slide website. And here we have already established scientists, all of them. There's only some part of them. We already now have more than 30. And you can just click on a bio and go to website, read about them. And yeah, we put it on the website. If you find it useful, please go ahead. And here our social media contacts. We have our platform on LinkedIn, on social medias, Instagram, Facebook. Please join wherever, which one is convenient for you. And yeah, so today I will give from here. I ending my speech and giving it to Didar. Didar will give some introduction about today's speaker. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ghalamjan. So again, first of all, I would like to say a couple of words about our today's speaker. So Dr. Kuanysh Yergaliyev is a medical doctor, public health specialist, and also educator with extensive experience in public policy, health systems, and higher education, and also science policy for middle income settings. Previously, he graduated from Kazakh National Medical University, named after Asfandiarov in Almaty, and also received his Master of Public Health degree from Tulane University in the United States. And lately, in May 2019, he also received a Doctor of Public Health degree from Harvard T.H School of Public Health with a concentration in public health leadership. Dr. Kuanysh Yergaliyev held a political appointment as a Vice Minister of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan from 2021 until 2023. Currently, he is holding tenure position at the Nazarbayev University Medical School. And so today we would like to hear him talking about the insights when an international special aid professional returning back to the country, how can he or she contribute to the further development of our country? So, Kuanysh Mirza, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Jidar. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I have a presentation too. So Ghalamjan asked me to have some personal story to share and then some personal pictures to share. So I have a little presentation, so I want to show it to you guys. Okay. Can you see the presentation, guys?
Thank you,
Yes,
Kuanysh,
yes.
for taking time and making this presentation. Amazing.
Yeah, well, I will try to be short and concise, okay, guys, because the presentation may take longer if I go through all the slides. Well, basically, this is a sort of a presentation of my personal journey, but I will just skip some of the parts so that you can get a general idea about my background. And then during the Q&A session, you may want to ask more questions. So as was said, I'm currently an assistant professor of practice at Nazarbayev University School of Medicine, and also I'm a adjunct assistant professor at the Graduate School of Public Policy, also at Nazarbayev University. So I'm originally from the small village in Kostanay, which is about 160 kilometers from the big city. It's called Evgenievka. And when I was in the 6th grade, the new school opened in the Kostanay, and then my mom took me there. It was a boarding school actually, and so my school years was very intense, I guess. I was part of the Kazakh national team in biology. So I attended the International Biology Olympiad twice. And in my 11th grade, I was able to get a bronze medal in the Olympiad was in Turkey, actually. And so in 1999, I entered as Sweden. Okay, and then what I learned during my high school time is that I think this is something that I come up with, but this is very personal, may not be applicable to other people. So basically, I believe that well, many of the classes were in English, so I think that this was important. Learning language is important, and teaching our kids language is also important as well. So that's why the school we go is matters as well. So when some of you may have kids, may not have kids, but in the future, when you have kids, I think you should be aware of that and take into consideration to choose the school that you want your kids to go, the language they want to learn. So during the school time, I think this is the time when I've got my principles and values that still a moral compass for myself. So basically, self-identity, integrity is very important for me, and then trustworthiness, responsibility as the things that I've learned during my high school time. And I got this idea of serving community. And this is also was one of my sort of guiding principles during my whole life till now, I guess. Well, the school also always gives this sense of community and did for me. And I got some lifelong skills like hard working, being a goal-oriented person, self-discipline is something I learned at the high school. Okay, during my university time, I went to the medical school in Kazakhstan, Svindyarov University. So I was also head of the student government, and then very active, guys, in research communities. Attended student and young researcher competition, got some also awards over there, and chaired the student government as well. It was really amazing time. And what I've learned during the university time, I think I got primarily the managerial and sort of organizational skills. Work on my emotional intelligence, sort of building relationships, working with the people, and then I got this passion for research and science. And of course, the university time is the best time to make friends that will be part of your life the whole time. And this is what happened to me as well. And then, yeah, as a physician, as a future physician and future scientist, I got this the first time when I learned to make sort of independent decisions as well. And then I went to via the Bolshak scholarship, I went to do my master's degree at Tulane University. And here are some also pictures from that time. I went there with my wife, Aigerim, and then it was really amazing time. And also we organized there was a international food and music festival. So with this guy Arslan, we represented Kazakhstan over there, and it was really fun. So what I've learned during that time is that people maybe should not be afraid of taking responsibility, and especially during that time I got married and I took my wife with me to America, and it was, one of the best my decisions, I guess. So follow your passion, enjoy the moment. This is what things I come up with. And then when I come back to Kazakhstan, I begin to work at the Ministry of Health, and I think this was one of also important decisions in my life, because it was coming back. It was challenging as well, because many people that I've learned, I knew that time they suggested me to stay in America, good opportunity to pass UCMLE exam, United States medical license examination, and then maybe be a physician. But being guided by my values and principles, I decided to come back to Kazakhstan and sort of giving back to my society, to my people. So I'll come back and this was the interesting story about that. When I come back to Kazakhstan, I was trying to find a job, and I've seen a guy the Bolshak scholar. He was working somewhere in one of the companies in Astana, and I found him. When I approached him, sort of introducing myself and said that I'm sort of just graduated from the United States and I'm looking for a job. And first thing he sort of asked me, he said that, who sent you? Okay, who sent you to me? And I said, like, no one. I'm just lay guy from, like, I have no like big brother, no one, like, I'm just looking a job. I'm Bolshak scholar and you Bolshak scholar, so I thought maybe you can help me. And this was my one of the basically first encounter with the Kazakh reality, and so he gave me sort of a lesson of how we should find a job in Kazakhstan, and it was sad. It was sad actually, and I sort of worked there for 1 month. I mean, it wasn't just a work. I just was going there, volunteering my time for 1 month, and during that time, my friends actually helped me in the same way. I mean, I approached my friends. They said, "Okay, I know a friend," and then other friends sort of talked to people who can help me. And then this is how I got my first job at the Ministry of Health back then. And it was interesting. The salary was something around 30 or 40,000 tenge, and I was actually even for rent, I was paying even more than my salary. Okay, but I decided that this is a good place to be, because the ministry is, if you want to really do an impact or somehow improve system, perhaps you should be in the public service and at least doing something there. And this is how I first got to the ministry and public service job. So during the ministry, I always was very active. I participated in the conferences, trying to do some publications. And actually, this later helped me to get to the Harvard. And but joining the Harvard was my a dream, let's say, a big dream that I had since my university time. Back in 2005, I went to America through the work and travel program. Some of you may know this program. During the summertime, I spent time working, actually, working and working. Okay, there were not many opportunities to travel, but one of those opportunities I used to travel to Boston City to see some friends. I'm not sure you may know, like Igor Ganichev and then Bauzhan Bektemirov, those folks. I visited them back then, and then I saw this beautiful picture of the Harvard Medical School and this yard in front of it. And back then, I sort of this picture imprinted in my mind, and then I gave a word to myself that I want to be here doing my doctoral degree. And later, after almost 10 years later, I got to the Harvard. It was really something. But I think what I've learned from this is that the big dreams are actually happens. Guys, just we need to really dream, hard work, perseverance, and then it also takes some time. And I remember I applied like 2-3 times. I work at the ministry for the like very low salary, but all these things later helped me to get to the Harvard. Okay, and then yeah, big dreams come true, but it needs hard work, patience, perseverance, and it takes time. Okay, then after that, I spent 4 years doing my doctoral degree, and I'm sure many of you are doing doctoral and postdoctoral. You're very familiar with the programs, with the way, with the all difficulties and challenges doctoral students face. And it was same. This actually picture was in the middle. You see, guys, with the thumb. So basically, this picture I took sometime around 3 or 4 at the night a.m. I was studying hard and sort of at the library. And during my time in the Boston, This is another story I want to share with you. This is my friend from International Biology Olympiad back in 1999, Yulia Sitnikova. I met with her in Sweden, and she's from Ukraine, from Odessa. And back then in Sweden, in Uppsala, Uppsala is a city where the University of Uppsala based, and the well-known scientist in the biology world, the Linne, Professor Linne, he was the sort of a father of the modern biology, of the modern classification of the living organisms. He was from there, and then basically she said me, I don't know why, but she said me that Kuanysh, she said, in the future we will be working here in this university in Uppsala. She said, I don't know why she said that, but later, almost 20 years later, we met with Julia at the Harvard. Okay, maybe it is it's not Uppsala, but I mean this the Harvard, the Boston is another center, the modern center of the science and research, and she was doing her doctoral degree program, and I was doing my doctoral degree. So, and then reflecting on the situation, I thought perhaps people, like-minded people, they always meet at some point, and then pursuing the science and research lead people to such great places like Harvard or other places where you also doing your doctoral degree. And I think this is the way that we should sort of try to go, and then motivate our young people, young generation to go through. And I'm happy to see that you guys doing this, association, building this association, building this the global community of scientists, young scientists, and it's really good things. Okay, so my research was on the dietary supplements, but just an example of what I've done there. And then, but choosing topic was also very challenging for me, because not many supervisors, not many researchers in America and Western world, they're interested in Kazakhstan, in this part of the world. But I, as a person who was actually planning to go back to Kazakhstan, I wanted to do something that will be really helpful when I come back, and that's why I was trying to find a supervisor and the topic, come up with a topic that will be topical and then interesting, and get skills that will, help me back when I come here. So that's why my research was qualitative research. And so basically, I've learned the qualitative research skills, but also it was more about policy change, advocacy of the public health issues. So those skills, I got skills that are also applicable to Kazakhstan. So that's why I encourage you, when you think about the topic, about your future sort of research interest, try to find out that will be relevant to Kazakhstan, not totally like rocket science things that that may not be applicable here. Yeah, I mean, you never know. At some point, you may want to come back to Kazakhstan and work here, so that's why you may want to be relevant here as well. And because I know one of my friends, he did some kind of specific physics, in Europe, in America, and then he couldn't come here because the field of interest that he is in requires very expensive equipment, a lab, okay, and then this is not something that we still have here. And so during the time in Boston, we, with our friends, Kazakh friends, we established the Miras Boston Kazakh Culture Foundation, and it was really amazing. Kids, these are my kids dancing, cake, and as you see, yeah, it was really a great time. But what I've learned there, It was really good opportunity to sort of make this, social impact, improve some leadership skills, and during this time, so I got some more like improved my independent researcher skills, sort of learned to build community, be part of the community. I better understand that it's important to be among people your people, okay, guys. And I'm sure you now abroad, and you may want to you perhaps understand me as well. So family is important, as I said. Community, family is very important. And another thing is networking. That's what we learned there. But most important thing is that always guided me through my whole life, and especially was important during my stay abroad is sticking to values. Okay, it's very important. These are the guiding sort of principles, the compass, moral compass that always help you to stay who you are. Okay, and then help you to make a decision. And this is something that perhaps you struggle with. I mean, in terms of the making a decision either to stay there or come back or whatever is, or what are my perspectives. And I think this is something that helped me at least in the future. This is my mom, so she always come to my graduations. So she came to Boston as well. So after that, when I graduated from the Harvard, I came to Kazakhstan, and I had a meeting with the Minister of Health back then, Mr. Birtanov, and I asked him if he has something to me to offer. And he offered me to work a place, but then I asked him if he be able to provide me sort of a in Russian you say carte blanche, to basically give me opportunity to be more independent, like in freedom, in decision making, in running an organization. And he said he was not sure about that. He said perhaps you're sort of novice, you have less experience. And then I talked to people at Nazarbayev University. I talked to the 3 deans, and I didn't feel that like they're interested in inviting people like me with the Western education, Kazakh people. Just one of them said me that if I publish a paper by the end of the year, then they may consider me. May consider, may not consider, and it was sad. Okay, it was sad. I said, okay, guys, not big deal. I have things to do. And then I went back to America to do my postdoc. And but then again, again, my friends approached me, and then they said, okay, if you want, they invited me to be head of the SDU University in Kaskelen. And I said, wow, why not? I mean, good opportunity to come back to Kazakhstan and do whatever I want. And so basically, I worked as a rector for 2 years. I studied courses like public health management, qualitative research management, research strategic management. I mean, these are courses that I drafted from the scratch, and we launched a new degree, MBA in healthcare, and which is still, I mean, it's quite popular right now, And then I opened a Center for Health Policy and Management at the business school. And so the things that when I was returning home, the important things for me was, of course, sticking to values. So basically, I went to America 3 times, and and 3 times I returned from America. Okay, and I always believed that yeah, I will be able to return whenever I wanted to do that, and I did. So that's why, and then my values always called me to go home and work in this in Kazakhstan, help giving back to my community, to my people. because when I did my doctoral, we had several exercises at the Harvard, and one of the exercises was to better understand who are you and what's your community, what does it mean for you a community. And we talk about that, we reflected on that a lot, and every time I thought about that, I confirmed that the Kazakhstan is the place I want to be. These people are that I want to work with, live with, serve with, and that's why whenever I had an opportunity in this case, I received a good job offer, and really people wanted me to see coming back. Okay, they made all the conditions for me, and with my family we come back. So that's why the sense of belonging is important, as I said, being part of community, and then serving to my community, giving back is one of the main principles for me. But also, I wanted to return as soon as possible. Even after the postdoc, I thought I will return anyway, because I had 2 children, okay, guys, and my kids, um, they now speak English. They still speak English fluently as a first language. And I was concerned that they may lose their identity as a Kazakh person. And one of the reasons actually why we began our Miras Kazakh Culture Foundation, we launched this community because of that. And I remember back then my kids went to public school, and every time they were coming from school, they were saying that, like, Latina people, kids, they were like celebrating like some kind of holidays, and then like like Korean or like Arabic people, they were celebrating something, and they were talking about all these different communities and people, and then and what they were doing, and back then. And then once I remember they came and they were excited about, like, what was there's like Easter. I think the Easter was today or yesterday. They were excited about Easter, and they were excited about other like Thanksgiving holidays and all this like Christmas holidays. And this really, I got scared. Okay, I got scared because uh, I thought that my kids are going in the wrong direction. And that's why we established this Kazakh community there back in Boston. And this was one of the reasons why I wanted to come back, because I wanted my kids to be Kazakh, maybe English-speaking Kazakhs. Why not? I mean, I grew up in Kostanay, which is the fully almost Russian-speaking place, but I feel myself part of this place. So that's why we come to Kazakhstan. I mean, kids still, I mean, they're learning, they speak Russian, Kazakh, but I mean, English is their first language. And my daughter still say, I mean, she says that she likes in here because this is this home, okay, this home for her. And another thing for me that was important when I come back is, when I was considering to coming back, is to having a freedom in doing what I've learned, what I've been trained for. What I mean is that as a rector of this, even though it's university multidisciplinary, and it didn't have anything to do with the health and public health, but as a rector, I had the opportunity to to launch a program, open a center, and then still doing the public health and health related things. And this was important, and that's why I'm sort of returning the offer from the minister, because I feel like I will not be able to do what I had on mind and any projects that I had. Okay, and then also family, friends is very important. The support is really crucial. And children's future, I already said about that, and social network is important as well. So in Kazakhstan, it's all about social network. It's all about who you know. Okay, guys, and the earlier you come back, the more people you will know and more opportunities for you will be opened, because the market is still, I mean, it's not very competitive. There are not many good people around with good skills, needed skills. But it's all about who you know and what you know. And especially for the last years, I mean, the more and more young people locally, they're working on themselves, they improve their skills, all kind of skills like leadership skills, research skills, and then the environment getting more competitive. And then, so I got my political appointment after 2 years working at the university. The Minister Aymagambetov invited me to be a vice minister. And then 1 year I worked with him, and then 1 year I worked with the Sayasat Nurbek, the current Minister of Science and Higher Education. And it was really amazing experience. But what my takeaways of that is that if you want to do work at the public service, you should be really passionate about making an impact and serve people. I think not many people go there for this reason. Many of them go for other not good reasons. I don't want to say anything bad about that, but feels like people have some other things on mind. But this is a really good opportunity to really do something on large scale and then have a social impact, and then have a goal and agenda and goal sort of if you go there. Of course, important skills is emotional intelligence, stress tolerance, and of course, leadership and management skills that you should work on work right now and developing yourself. Because if you go to public service without such skills, you may struggle a lot, And also family is important as well. Family support is important. Networking is a really good opportunity to do networking, meet people, and stick to values. These are very important, guys, especially in public service. When you have so many tempting things that, different people come to you, offer you things, the business and other, things that may not be right thing to do, and then the values and the principles are sort of a light that help you to make a decision. Self-care is very important, and then from very beginning, people always have an exit strategy, and if you go to public service, it's very temporary. Okay, public service, you never know when it ends, so that's why always good to have an exit strategy at the very beginning. Okay, then some after work life, reading books, running the marathons, playing with my kids, and this is my family. You can see I have 3 kids. And that's it. Yeah. So Almjan, I was trying to be as fast as I can. I took like 30 minutes perhaps. Yeah. And yeah, that's it, guys. And now I'm open for any questions, ideas, and any thoughts.
Well, Kuanysh Mirza, thank you very much for your for sharing your own experience in returning back to Kazakhstan and trying to contribute to the development of the country. And while listening to your stories, your experiences, many things came to my mind as well. For instance, you mentioned about your friend from meeting your friend from 1999 Olympiad. And similarly, actually, we met with Ghalimjan in 2007. And since then, we have this relationship bond. But of course, we are Kazakhs, and that's an additional credit for us to have common mutual interests. And I mean, from the network, building a network perspective, it is a very crucial thing, I believe. And also, I forgot to mention, actually, I was also working at SDU under the leadership of Kuanysh Mirza. And from my experience, I remember one thing that you brought to the university to show that the higher leadership is open to any ideas, and you would organize, if I'm not mistaken, it was once a month meetings with everybody, whoever wanted to meet, even if it's a student or a staff member, they could pick up an appointment with the rector and also come and share their thoughts, ideas, opinions, so that it showed that the leadership was open to everybody. And I think it's something new for the Kazakhstani style of leadership, I believe. Well, I also, I'm pretty sure that many of the attendees today have discovered you from a different perspective, because mostly the science community knows you from the position from as being a Vice Minister of Higher Education and Science. So thank you for sharing your personal life details, which probably motivates or even inspires at some point. And personally, I also got this your values and principles that you follow. They are really important. That's what I took for myself when making a decision, like for the further returning back or considering other alternatives and etc. And as we know, there are currently six universities with international partner universities, and these universities, to what extent they are trying to recruit the academia personnel, professionals with international degrees, and what kind of perks, incentives they offer. I don't know if such data is available to you, but maybe from your previous position, you could share some ethically within the ethical boundaries, some details on this.
Yeah, in terms of whatever I said about the NU is basically my personal opinion and the perception, okay, which may not be same as official position of the university. So that's why, I mean, this is just my experience, okay, guys. In terms of the other universities in Kazakhstan, as you may know, when I was working at the ministry, we launched several international sort of programs. For instance, Petropavlovsk, the Kozubayev University in Petropavlovsk, they launched a program, dual degree program with the Arizona University. And then Zhubanov University in Aktobe, they launched a couple of programs with the here at Watt University from Scotland, UK. And then the Russian universities are also over here. Other universities are coming over, Chinese, Korean, French universities, British University, and De Montfort Leicester opened its branch. And also the guys who opened De Montfort Leicester, they're opening the new university in Astana actually, will be announced shortly, maybe within a couple of months. So there are a lot of more and more opportunities to work in academia using your international skills, international the language, knowledge, your background, and be in Kazakhstan and receive a good salary as well. So, and the way it works, I mean, as I said, in Kazakhstan, it's all about connection and all about network. So that's why it's perhaps you should try to find the people who know the people, approach, introduce yourself. I can help with that as well. And because it's also difficult to recruit people to the regional oblast places, like Kozubayev, like Petropavlovsk, Aktobe, and the young people want to go to the Astana and Almaty. I mean, they are good cities, but the other places are also developing. Okay, there are opportunities. The flights, for instance, flight to Petropavlovsk just cost 10,000 tenge or 12,000 tenge or something. I mean, it's even cheaper than the train. So that's why this. I mean, the social conditions and are also getting better. So that's why that the universities are trying to recruit. They're also paying competitive salaries. But I want to say that if you really want to come back to Kazakhstan, uh, people should just come and start working, and then as you work, you get to know more people, better understand the context, the environment, and then more and more opportunities will come up to you. Because being there abroad and trying to find a job in Kazakhstan is really difficult and challenging. You don't know, people don't know you, people don't know what you're capable of. But what I want to say from my experience, the regional universities are now also looking for young people with the Western education. Yeah. And here someone wrote in the chat that if it's worth to apply for the common process, I mean, it is worth, but as I said, it's even at the place where I'm working now is also the network is important. So perhaps it's better to try to come, meet people, talk to them, introduce yourself, attend some conferences, meetings, and show yourself. And it works everywhere. I mean, even in the United States, it works in the same way. And it's all about people that know each other. Okay. Because sending resumes to this in the application system sometimes may be tricky because there's so many applications, so many resumes. Sometimes they all look good on paper, and you never know. You don't know who is behind those papers. Okay, you there?
Thank you.
Or,
Thank you.
perhaps someone can maybe talk live, not just writing. Maybe I'm just interested to see the people behind the names. Okay. Maybe someone.
Ghalamjan,
No?
can you do that? Because I think initially we restricted the access to cameras and mics, but I don't know if it can be changed during the session.
Let me check it.
So meanwhile, I'll have one more question. I don't know, maybe you have covered it to some extent, but anyway, as it was sent in advance, I would like to just read it through. So can you offer some practical recommendations and insights into the opportunities that can wait us back in Kazakhstan?
Yeah, as I said, now the Minister of Science and Higher Education implementing the president's task to open branches of international universities. Even today, I met with the chancellor from University of Minnesota, okay, and the chancellor, vice chancellor, and another couple of high-level people. They came here exploring opportunities to open dual degree programs, working with the local Kazakhstani universities, and all these opportunities. They require people like you guys who has Western education, Western experience, speaking fluently in English and Kazakh Russian, and this is going to grow. Okay, and then it's important to perhaps use this opportunity now and jump into this train. And this one opportunity. The other thing is currently the government spends a lot of money on research projects. For this year, I think it's something around 240 or something like that billion tenge. And last year it was 160 or 70 billion tenge. And before that it was around 100 billion. I mean, every year it grows. And then, as you may know, we have like a grant funding, грантовое финансирование, and then we have like a targeted program, targeting funding, программа целевое финансирование, and different type of, like 3 or 4, like young researcher funding, and then postdoc funding. All these fundings are more or less, based on basically competitive base. And for the last years, it's more or less fair, okay, and it's more or less fair. And many scientists in Kazakhstan receiving funding, and their salaries quite good, compared to other places. So this is another opportunity, and we don't have many scientists who are able to do the research on according to international standards, up to that standards. So that's why the local universities seeing these opportunities, but unfortunately they don't have people who can apply there. And in here, where you can now, even being abroad and helping these guys is a good opportunity for you to just start working around, seeing what's going on, how it works. And yeah, and this is another opportunity. And many, just a couple of days ago, I talked to one of the rectors from the Kazakhstan, and he said that the young scientists, they don't want to be like a dean or like, vice provost or vice rector, they don't want to do any administrative work, because they say they have these grants, they have this good funding, they don't want to do any administrative stuff. They just want to do the science and publish and teach. And this is a good development, actually. This is how it works abroad, right? I mean, the scientists are well paid, they do their work, and doing some administrative work, it is not the goal in itself. Yes, and also other thing is that we have good universities in Kazakhstan, like KMEP is still good, but we have like IT University, KBTU University, SDU University, the Kazgu, Narpaev University, and all they all, understand the value of people like you. They hire, they pay good salary, and then they, still they provide conditions, all the benefits that people deserve. It's not like like it used to be back then. So I just want to tell you another story. When I come back to Kazakhstan after my master's degree, I started working at the ministry. I saw Aidar Abiov. I think that's the guy that I knew from the ministry, and then that's how I remember this story. Has nothing to do with Aidar. So basically, I graduated from the US, I came to the ministry, I started working there. And then one of the first tasks that folks asked me to do, they said, do you know how to send fax machine, fax machine? And so I said, well, not sure. I haven't trained for that. I have a medical degree, 7 years. I did my master's 2 years, 9 years education, but I think this is not something I have been trained for. And they said, okay, go on fax, okay. And they sent me a person with 9, years of education, knowing fluently English, and then now they send me to send the fax. And then they also send me, do you know how to make a copy, like a Xerox copy machine? I said, well, same, I haven't been trained, but I think I can figure out. And they send me to, to make a copies. And this how they, back then they didn't know how to use people like us with the international education and the knowledge. But now it's totally different. Now situation is completely different. Now the leadership at the universities, they know who are you guys, what does it mean to have a PhD from the Western University, what does it mean postdoc, and what you are capable of. And this changed the communication, changed everything totally, and gives you more power to negotiate, to talk to them, and then to ask the benefits you really deserve. Okay, and but all these opportunities you should. I believe you should come here to Kazakhstan. Okay, it's not something you can do abroad, sitting abroad, talking. Okay, like sending emails, and people don't check emails. Okay.
Well, thank you for answering the questions. I think we have another 8 minutes till the end of our today's session, and I still see some questions coming from the chat. So, Khalamjan, should we just pick one or two until the time can finish, or maybe select one which is most interesting, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that.
So here, one question is, what are your long-term plans at Nazarbayev University? Also, there is a question about health insurance at Nazarbayev University. How do you see your future? How do you see your future in public health? Do you plan to return to governmental positions? And last is, could you please share your thoughts about perspectives of carrying out preclinical and clinical studies in collaboration with pharmaceutical companies in Kazakhstan, since there is much less technical difficulties, paperwork, costs, insurance? So maybe blending these questions and coming with one complex answer.
No, I can answer each of them just briefly. In terms of the long-term plans of Nazarbayev at Nazarbayev University, I joined it as a joint position I got in September last year, and then full-time got in January. Now I'm applying to different research grants, and I'm actually, at least for the next 2-3 years, I want to be part of this research community, academic community, teach and do research projects. So that's why, guys, if you have any ideas and thoughts, and if you want to be involved in any projects, let me know. Well, as for now, so I applied to ministry grant. Now we are waiting for the result. We applied to the Erasmus project. Now we're discussing about the Horizon projects. I mean, there are a lot of international opportunities. So if you want to be part of that, just let me know. I will keep in mind and try to include you. Or recommend you to someone who is doing something similar to not just in you, but any other local universities. Since I work there, I know all rectors, many people in Kazakhstan, and I can easily recommend you. In terms of the health,
you're also looking for PhD students, huh? As far as I know, you're also looking for some PhD postdocs. Just in case, guys, if you know some masters, recommend. Kuanysh Mirza looking also for some PhD students for his lab.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a lab, but I mean, we have all the teams and the projects. Okay, and then in terms of the new health insurance for local faculty include emergency fly out to Dubai. I know the international faculty members, they have this fly out to like Dubai or any other international places, but I don't think the local have. At least I haven't seen it in my the paperwork that they gave me for the insurance. But I guess I want to ask them. In terms of the private school, they don't pay for locals for the private. This for sure. But I think they do compensate pay something for the internationals faculty members. And then in terms of how do you see your future in public health? Do you plan to return to the government positions? And in terms of the government position, as I said, it's temporary, and it's you may not rely on that. And as you can see, when I was a vice minister for 2 years, so I had 2 ministers. I had like 4 vice prime ministers, and during that time we had 2 prime ministers. So I mean, as you can see, the turnover is very high over there. So I don't know. I mean, if people invited me and really want me to be there, perhaps I may consider, but not something that I'm looking actively, personally right now. And as I said, in terms of the future in public health, as I said, I'm currently, at least for the next 2 years, I want to be doing research in public health and teaching. So that's why I see this is something I've been trained for, and it's something I feel like the strongest. In terms of the preclinical trials, this is something perhaps we need to talk to. Who is this, Aruzhan? Perhaps Aruzhan can get in touch with me separately, and we can talk. It's very specific. I need to better understand what kind of opportunities she's looking for to answer that. Okay, and Almran, can you just give me a brief, of description of the profile of the people we have here? Are they many of them are PhD students or postdocs or?
Yeah, so yeah, fortunately, our platform for Teams, we're using webinar session. On webinar session, you most of the functions a only speaker, and you have chat box and speaker saying. Other than that, other attendees cannot join as unmute themselves. We need to make the settings again. So regarding the attendance people, so most of them. Some joined it from Canada, some joined it from Europe, mostly from Europe, some from Kazakhstan, and degree is most of them PhD, some postdocs, also from Hong Kong, yeah, from Japan. And yeah, the main concern was about what is there any other opportunities like after coming back to Kazakhstan and what they can do, because as you said, now currently we see like oversaturation of like talents, and Nazarbayev University not only capable to take all of them, yeah, and what could be a good strategy to think about. And I think it was really good that you mentioned try to make connection before you come to Kazakhstan, yeah, every summer to meet people, speak with them, and let them know that you are here. Yeah, and yeah, overly different content of people. They registered more than 30. Now we have 20. Yeah.
Okay, great. So guys, as I share with you my personal story of my first attempt to find a job in Kazakhstan, as you can see, since then, more than almost 20 years has passed, and not many things has changed, guys. It's still all about people, all about who you know, and it's all about networking. And although, I mean, many things has changed, but still, if you're planning to come to Kazakhstan, you better do it early or later, okay? When you established scientist back in like Germany or UK, when you built your great career back then you can come to Kazakhstan and okay, or maybe earlier to come and start doing it here.
Yeah, I think it's a
But
good
yeah.
recognition.
Yeah, but for the last years, I see my friends who came to Kazakhstan, they did some career here. Now they're going to other countries like UK, Arab Emirates, Australia, and continue their academic career over there. And it's okay. It's like normal, like this how it could be. Nothing wrong with that. But when you make these decisions, it's not just all about you, guys. It's about your family, about your wife and husband, about your, children, and those who are not married. It's also about the having a family, and it's all this, all edges of your life. So that's why, I mean, it's not something you can see, okay, he does, I will do. It's all about your context, all about context and your personal experience. I know Didar, he worked at the SDU, he's really good guy. He made masters abroad, right, Bolshak, and then come to SDU. He had a good experience working in Kazakhstan, really feeling what's like to be a scientist, a teacher in Kazakhstan. And then now when he does his doctoral degree, he has a different perspective on what he does. Okay, and it's really invaluable. Okay, and what year are you in now, Didar?
Currently, I started my third year since January. So my program is 4 years.
4 years, great. What university is that?
University of Glasgow.
Glasgow, great.
University of Glasgow.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you very much. I think it was very insightful session for everybody who has joined us today. And thank you for your time. We appreciate you coming for today's session and hope to see you again, maybe with a different topic, different perspective, different direction. And again, also thanks for everybody who has joined today, for our participants from various countries all over the world.
Okay, guys, thank you for inviting me. This was my actually, it's my, how to say, let me say in this way, it's my purpose, life purpose, to share my experience with the people who are, approaching me, and I always was supporting of the young, people. And since, as I said, I shared with my experience with you with my first job, and later on when I work at the ministry, I always helped the young people coming from Bolshak and find themselves in Kazakhstan. Became like many of them, I became professional. They thriving, professionally, and so that's why there's nothing scary about coming back. I just want to say that nothing scary about that. Just believe in yourself, be yourself, and then you're global guys. Okay, you have education that's recognized all over the world, and anytime you can just pack your luggage and leave and go anywhere, and come back whenever you want. Just don't be afraid of anything. Okay, thank you very much, and let's stay in touch. And if you want to reach out to me, you can always find my email on Nazarbayev University's website, or perhaps Galmjan can share it with you. Okay.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Okay, guys. Bye.
You guys.